is directed by Jan Komasa. This director also did Suicide Room, Sala Samobojco, which I loved in high school, but I would have never guessed that these two movies are by the same director. So this movie follows juvenile who is sent to work in some type of factory or treadmill or something. Not treadmill, sawmill. So he is sent to this small town to work. But instead of going to the work, he goes to a small village, to the church, and he finds himself pretending to be a priest. And really the lie goes on for a long time. The main character is played by Bartosz Bielania, and his performance in this is absolutely incredible. And the whole movie is actually, I really do like the thoughts of this movie. It really makes you think about it. It presents some challenging thoughts and questions, and even after watching it, you, or at least I, was thinking about the movie long time after. The plot itself, I liked it. I mean, I'm kind of reviewing the movie as well, but I want you to know what you're getting yourself into, because maybe we have different what's it called? Preparation, I guess, when it comes to movies. Anyway, this movie kinda unfolds itself as it goes, because you don't get all of the information all at once. There are bits and pieces that you get in along the way, and that's why it's engaging. Also, I think it's also worth rewatching the movie after some time when you feel like it again, because knowing all of it makes it for a different experience for the second time. As I said, the performance is great, but the movie also is quite hard to watch, or not hard, but it's a hard-hitting movie. It also talks about the people from a small town, about religion, about morals. There are many moral questions. That's what it focuses itself on. And I think it's a brilliant movie that is worth watching. I don't know how long. It's almost 2 hours long, and it is a movie from 2019. So let's move to the next movie. This one is more light-hearted. It is a Czech fairy tale that is called Give the Devil His Due, or in Czech, Štěte nejsou štěte. It's very wholesome fairy tale, one of my favorites. It is directed by Hinek Bocan, and it is a movie from 1985. I hope you can hear me, by the way. The sensitivity is lower than I usually record with. Anyway, it takes place in a kingdom, and it follows widowed father and his son, and he kinda meets this woman named Dorota who he marries. But Dorota is not the greatest person. She is very money hungry, and she's I mean she has her fingers in the kingdom, best at financial stuff either, and he has people around him that he cannot trust, but he doesn't know that. And then we have the devil who, goes to earth to take some people to hell. I mean, that sounds kind of dramatic, but it's very wholesome. Well, in a way, it definitely, it's a fairy tale, so there's the clear definition between good and bad. I do like the portrayal of hell and the devils, even though when you say devil, the word devil, I think of Satan and stuff like that, but devil, in Czech it's a fairy tale figure, so, but I think it has a nice message and it is nice. So if you want to check out some fairy tales, Czech fairy tales, this is one of them that I would recommend, and it's quite funny as well. So another movie that I want to recommend, again, this is more of a serious movie, definitely serious, and it is the movie called Promising Young Woman from last year, directed by Emerald Fennell. This movie follows a young woman who goes to clubs, and she finds these men who, even though she's very drunk, definitely cannot consent to anything, but they still pick her up and want to have something with her. I don't want to, spoil anything, but it definitely speaks on these issues, The main characters are played by Carey Mulligan and Paul Burnham, and actually the first time I watched it, I didn't love it, but the more I watched it, the more I loved it. At this point, I would say it's one of my favorite movies, probably. The soundtrack is great. The performances as well. There are things that I don't like too much about it, like some of the comedy in it, but then it makes sense for the characters, for the story, for their personalities, so I think it works. But the story itself, it speaks on the issues of essays and stuff like that, and I think in the right way, even though it's not your satisfying revenge thriller, it's still a thriller movie that I would recommend watching, and it is very visually pleasing. It's very nicely, the decorations, the production, overall costumes, it all makes sense. So I definitely recommend this movie. So another movie that I would recommend is a Slovak movie called Servants or Služebníci in original. This movie is also from last year, and it is directed by Ivan Ostrochovský. And this movie is, it takes place during normalization of Czechoslovakia in 1980s, and it follows two friends who apply to a Catholic school and how the church is affected by the communism and the people studying there. So it's also interesting in terms of history if you want to learn about that. This is a short movie, it only has 80 minutes and it is very nicely visually done. It's the kind of movie that every frame could be a picture, because it is a picture, very nice. So the cinematography and composition of do something more with the historical events and stuff like that. But I think it's still worth watching. I really liked the movie actually. I saw it in the cinema and I loved it. And the last movie that I want to recommend you is another lighthearted movie. Well, kinda, it's a horror movie, but you know, it's not historical or talking about some deep subjects or anything like that. And it is The Conjuring 2 by James Wan. This is a movie from 2016. And it's my favorite Conjuring from the 3 that we got so far. I think it's better to watch the first one, definitely, for the get to know the characters, but the second one is really, really worth it. It follows the couple, husband and wife Warrens, who investigate paranormal things going on, and this follows one of their cases. It takes place in London this time, and you know, there are some evil spirits and stuff like that. So the husband and wife are played by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, and I do have to say that the movie, it takes a while to get going, and it's more than 2 hours long, but then it's definitely worth it because they're setting up the story and everything, and once it gets going, it doesn't stop. I definitely like the cinematography. It's very, visually it's nice, it's creepy and dark, and even though I don't usually love jump scares, this is one of the horror movies that are full of jump scares that I think it's really, really fun to watch actually. I loved it, and I think it's a good movie to watch with someone because that makes it even more fun, this kind of movie. So yeah, this is more of a fun recommendation, I think, for today. I know this is it for this video, but I'm gonna keep making more movie recommendation videos. I'll always talk about 5 movies that I recommend, you know, for different reasons, different genres, and all of that. And so if you want to see more of these type of videos, then consider subscribing to this channel, like this video, comment, and I'll see you soon.